Mic test. Mic test.
Mic check.
Rowan's lame.
1, 1,
You
2.
know what? Just excuse me, guys. I do need to go to the bathroom one more time. Just excuse me.
Go for it.
There's a plot happening here.
Is he doing something?
Or is it a plop happening? It's either a plot or a plop.
Actual plot?
Yeah.
But
Oh, you mean this is staged by him? What he's
There's
about to do?
something-
Something a bit sus about that.
He eats a lot of curry, so he's either going to take a huge dump or he's about to dump something unexpected on me. I don't like where this is going.
On us.
Yeah, on us. No, most likely on me. The other day he told me I looked like Jabba the Hutt. Yeah. I said I put on like a couple kilos in my Italy travels, and he's like, yeah, you look like Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, very nice.
A few minutes later.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, this piece of shit.
Oh, no.
He's just trying to outdo us.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Business
God.
Kirk.
Is this a business coach?
This
lesson?
is, and he's just ruined our bit
Oh no.
because we had a whole bit coming that's now just destroyed.
No, it's still going ahead.
It's still good. Okay. Hi. So what's your name?
Business Kirk.
Business Kirk. Fuck, he looks good. He does look good.
looks
He cleans
rough.
up. He cleans
Yeah.
up.
Oh my God.
Wow. You knew it would be a bit.
Yeah, I knew. I could
No
see
one was believing you needed to wee, mate.
as soon as he took off, and that was a quick change. That was Superman style. Go into a cupboard, spin around, and he's Business Kirk. He's transformed,
Impressive.
It's just good business.
and he also means business. There's a full character.
The method.
That's in. All right, are we recording on this thing? We've got all this.
We're
It's
on,
all
ladies and
filmed.
gentlemen.
Okay, it's
We
all
are
being
live.
filmed. Well, that's great. So, if you're new here, welcome. We've got Business Kirk who's come and joined us. Now, let me tell you, cafes and small businesses are the backbone of our community. They're a place where we meet friends and sometimes we wear a fancy shirt. Today, we have the man that made the breakfast shirt famous. You know him from his amazing content creation, Mark Crotti from Breakfast Shirts. Welcome to the show. And you know us, I'm Rowan Cook.
And I'm Business Kirk.
And it's just coffee.
You know. Oh, was this your bit all along?
Yeah.
Was this your bit all along?
Our whole bit was to be that we were going to whip out the sunglasses and leave you in the dry.
Have any of you ever seen what is it? Who's that? The Robert Downey Jr. movie.
Iron Man.
He's only done. He's done a few, mate.
What was the Inspector?
Sherlock.
Sherlock Holmes Part 2. Have you seen Sherlock Holmes Part 2?
No, wait,
Have
that
you?
wasn't Robbie Downey. That was Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, that was Cumber.
No, but there was a Sherlock Holmes. There was a Robert Downey Jr.
with
one.
Hugh Grant.
Yeah. Anyway,
No.
so in the second one, he was battling with Professor James Moriarty, and there was like that whole thing where they were like chess playing each other in a fight scene. That's me against you two
Oh,
today.
this is happening. It's
Yeah,
playing off.
yeah.
Hey, we're all friends here. We want to be on that. But Business Kirk, he's here for business. He broke character a little bit there. He started getting excited talking about Sherlock Holmes.
That's keep it cool.
I feel like Business Kirk is going to sell us a 6-part like business coaching lesson by the end of this podcast.
By the end of this podcast, you'll be a dropshipping expert. You'll be selling houses. I'll be borrowing someone else's BMW for a house viewing
And $4 million worth of crypto.
and $4 million worth of crypto.
Absolutely. Now, we were actually just lucky enough. I went and had breakfast with Mark. We went and sat, had a chat, filmed it up. That was so much fun. It's nice when you meet people just straight off the bat and you can just click and you can talk, and it's like I've known you for years. You know?
Yeah, it does feel like that.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So we were actually chatting about maybe my name Rowan being a bit boring, and so maybe that needs a bit of a rebrand. So Rohan sounds a lot more interesting. So maybe from now on we'll just go as I'm Rohan Cook. Or does Cook need to change as well? That's pretty dry.
You're so progressive. Rohan is so progressive. He doesn't have a last name.
Perfect.
Maybe roll the R, you know?
Yeah.
Business Kirk and Breakfast Shirts were talking before the podcast started about him being from a certain region of New Zealand. I kind of put it down to he's from Gondor, neighbouring Rohan.
Yeah.
Where are you from? You're from Mordor for sure.
Mount Doom.
Oh, Matt Doom. Man, I got a comment on one of the videos last night. It was like one of our camping ones. And the person wrote, "Thank you for the information, rugged, more beefier version of Taika Waititi." And honestly, I took it as a compliment. That was great.
too.
Yeah. When I was at my skinniest, I got Taika Waititi a bit, but now I got beefier Taika Waititi. Everyone is going to think I'm a giant load. You got me, you got Business Kirk calling me Jabba the Hutt. We've got beefy Taika Waititi. I'm just getting it from
He's
all
packed on a
angles.
few kegs lately. So
Get out of here.
I've heard.
it's not good business. It's not good
But
business.
I was thinking if I'm rebranding, I actually had to pitch a business idea for you. Make a little bit more money. I know
Business
you make a lot
Kirk's
of
here.
content.
Business Kirk can advise you.
Maybe you could
Wait,
try.
are you pitching me or Business Kirk?
Pitching you.
Okay, right.
Maybe you could try an OnlyFans breakfast shirtless.
Good.
What are you packing under there?
Oh, mate, he's ripped.
V6, V8.
I don't know what I'm packing, but if people are going to pay for that, I may have to soon.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I mean,
mean,
breakfast is expensive.
There's
these
a
days.
whole like food subgenre that could come into it with breakfast.
I'm already picturing it going down a bad direction. ASMR, shirtless, eating eggs.
It has a whole new meaning. But speaking of that, we've just before I went to Italy, I was getting on the shred a little bit and just trying to drop a few kgs. I did well. I think I was like down like 4 or 5, something like that. While I was away in Italy, put back on 2. That's all right. From the set, we're back on it now. We'll pull it off. You are a very fit dude. Any advice? Anyone else out there that's trying to shred? What's your kind of go-to? What do you reckon you can drop
like
it
just
off
off the bat, honestly? Yeah.
Listen up, Rowan.
Business Kirk's an
First of
asshole.
all, if you went to Italy and you didn't put on a couple of kilos, I wouldn't trust you.
Yeah.
So I'm
Thank
glad
you.
you did
I
that. So
appreciate
you get
that.
a tick of approval. I just try not to eat bread, pasta and rice where I can't. Sometimes I just cop it because I'm not a psychopath. I love almond croissants. I love pastries and I love nice bread, but
Just good business.
it's just good business not eating that much bread for your body in my personal experience.
Yeah, I completely agree. Before I left, that was pretty much it. I was having a little bit of rice, but I pretty much cut out like all pastas, bread, and that kind of thing. And it was.
Did
it was
you
working pretty
feel
well.
quicker mentally as well? 'Cause
No matter what I do, if I lose weight, if I do something and people are always like, oh, do you just feel better? I'm always just like, no, like I feel the same. Whatever it is that people get this like euphoricness of being healthy does not stick with me. I feel exactly the same as always. In fact, if I'm exercising and doing more, I'm just tired. I'm like, you know what? I went for a run and I'm tired now.
How long do you commit to these things for, like the diet change and the?
Oh no, long periods of time.
Sounds like you've got
6 hours or something, or
Now I'm getting it from you. No, it's general like, and it's not like a diet. I generally try to make it like a lifestyle change. It was just, sometimes you fell down a bit of a, put on a few. I'm like, look, I need to get back to better living. So it's long term, just general practices of living.
Yeah, sounds like you've got some mitochondrial issues. Business Kirk don't approve.
Business Kirk. Just every line is Business Kirk.
Wait, do you know how you pitched me something just before?
Yeah.
We should tell everyone what the pitch was this morning that we came up with.
Oh,
the idea.
this was bloody great. I love this.
A great concept.
We were talking about, you were saying, how when you have sporting teams, you can make like your dream team.
What's it called? The fantasy football.
Fantasy football? Yeah.
Fantasy football, but for a cafe. So imagine you open this app or whatever it is, and you can build your own dream team of staff of the cafe. So maybe there's like there's 2 coffee machines at the front, so you need 4 baristas. There's a front of house, and you can drag and pick your favorite hospitality staff from across Australia and put them in different positions, and then you can share your cafe dream team.
Yeah, it's like getting the All Australian in the AFL. You bring in people, cafes upload their own workers to it, so people get voted in. The customers kind of pull in their teams.
Fully.
Yeah.
We should do that. Actually, like
I'm Business Kirk as the manager.
Definitely, you can make all the hard decisions, Business Kirk. But imagine if we did that, and then that could be eventually built to a platform where people who wanted to hire staff, like you could click the member and they'd have their CV and where they work and if they're available at the moment.
I love
it's like
that.
a trading platform.
It's like the Rockstar shift. It's like the, it's just poaching in the end, but maybe staff could get better pay, better pay rates. Put in you have your pay number underneath, like how much you cost.
This is already getting controversial and political.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Yeah. It's a good idea though.
Yeah, it's
we
a great
should consider it at some stage.
It'd be cool. We were saying we've got a Cafe Smart event coming up. We've teamed up with like La Mazzocco, Keep Cup, bunch of like different people, and we're hosting an event there, and it's to raise money for homelessness. But this idea came too late, but maybe next year, because I was like, wouldn't it be amazing if for that one day we did the pop-up and we brought in the dream team and got them to work the floors of that event?
Such a great
I think
idea.
that'd be sick.
Jimmy Butler.
We're going to bring in Jimmy Butler.
Is
Get
Jimmy
him behind
Butler
the La Mazzocco.
the basketball player?
Yeah. He loves, so he is a huge coffee nerd. There's photos of him getting on his private jet, like carrying his Lamazocco,
No way.
like from game to game. During their COVID, when they were in the bubble, he in his room was serving coffee to the other players because there wasn't a cafe there or whatever.
No.
He was charging $20 a coffee. And the name of his coffee company, Big Face, came from that because he wanted people to pay with $100 notes, which is the Big Face bill.
For his coffee.
Yeah. And he was like, and if they paid with 100, he's like, sorry, no change. Sorry, no change.
Yeah.
So even when you're a multi-millionaire basketball, you're still hustling.
I love that. Breakfast Shirts works closely recently with like the tennis player, Max, and he's into his coffee as well.
Oh shit.
And he is trying to do the same. He's like calling San Remo, you need to make a machine which I can bring in my suitcase, because on tour and on the tennis tour, the coffee at all these events is shit. Or like all the players complain about they don't have good coffee. So he wants to bring a machine in his suitcase.
We pitched to July. They never responded to us. July, hi, thank you for the response in the email. Yep. We pitched to Lamazocco, but they already did another collaboration with Ramoa where they made a machine that looked like a suitcase. I want to team up with a coffee machine company. If you're out there, send us an email. I want to make the portable espresso machine where it's literally just a suitcase and there's a cutout hole where the portafilter goes in. So you're just strolling up with your suitcase, plug it into the wall, espresso on the go.
Business Kirk last year did a gig with Bon Iver. Made coffee for the band Bon Iver when they came to Melbourne, and they've got like a whole thing where they have like, what are the music boxes called? You'd both know.
A jukebox?
Amp?
What they transport all the things in.
Oh,
that's on the wheels and stuff. Yeah. They've got the whole coffee machine set up in that. And,
they did do it. So they basically built that.
Yeah, and so they're mad coffee fiends anyway. So Business Kirk got in there, made some coffees, and it was just good business.
It's just great business. Bon Iver, it's just great business.
Yeah, it is.
Did you get to chat with them? What was that like?
Oh yeah, made coffee with it and had dinner with the whole band. It was awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Any hot goss or just good people and pretty boring?
Just good people. I didn't realize for a while who Justin Vernon was until I made him a really nice coffee, which he said was one of the best in his life. So
there you go.
Who is Justin Vernon?
He's
the lead singer. So he's everyone just calls him Bon Iver, but Bon Iver is actually the band.
I thought it was just one dude.
No, it's a whole band. When you see him, we saw him at the Sydney My Music Bowl. It's a whole thing.
Do you want to start the news? Business Kirk forgot a prop, so do you want to start?
Yeah, let's start with the news. Let's kick it in with some sound bites.
Here we go.
We've got our coffee news coming in hot. Oh, isn't that beautiful? So this is great. We've got a musician as our producer. He just whips up different songs and different things.
Did you make that?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I'm a keys player, singer. I got that thing.
You got everything going on.
You'll hear some more things later on.
Right.
Well, if we get you on the pod a bit, maybe you need to have your own segment where you two can work together and have a little sting.
Make a little jam.
Yeah, have a little breakfast shirt jam that comes in.
Anytime.
All right. So first bit of news story that we have here is the NanoTemper.
Sorry, before we get to the news, what prop is he getting? A cane, a walking cane, or a monocle or something? Yeah. What do you reckon?
What has he got?
I haven't noticed anything yet.
Where's the prop?
Bit later.
Okay, the prop is it's a prop for a bit. All right, this is ridiculous. All right, we've got the NanoTemper. This is like a biotech company. They built a coffee machine that makes coffee 6 times the strength of espresso. So David and Jonathan build the strongest coffee machine. They built it into a casing of one of our Prometheus devices. Each shot uses 45 grams of coffee, produces 6 times the strength of a normal single shot of espresso. Underneath the hood, dual sapphire pistons, generating 400 bars of pressure, which is wild, equivalent to 1.28 tons of force on the coffee, or water pressure that you would find 4 kilometers below sea level. So, I mean, this sounds like it tastes terrible.
Any cafe that's using that device, you better hope you have triple ply in your toilets.
Yeah. Going to be absolutely annihilating the porcelain, cracking the corona, as I say.
That's intense.
So these are like scientists, and I think they're just like nerds who love coffee, and they were like, we're just going to build this ridiculous machine that makes insanely strong coffee.
That's crazy. So they use the same amount of coffee that you normally would?
Well, a normal shot maybe is like that 21 grams of coffee. Okay. So this is probably double the amount, but still I'm sounding like the concentrate is 6 times stronger. I don't know if they mean caffeine or the actual dissolvable coffee amount in it, but either way, I'd love to taste it because I think
must be the total dissolved solids of it. Yeah. So your typical one is about 8-10% times that by 60% coffee.
It's a sludge. That's some real sludgy stuff there. It feels like Business Kirk's going to be a recurring character here.
Yeah, I think so. Can we call, while we're doing pitches, you mentioned Vegemite. I pitched Vegemite a mad campaign, and they're playing hard to get.
Oh, what?
They responded once.
Can
and
you
then
tell us what the
They should put some
campaign is?
respect on your name.
They should, yeah. I chased them up and nothing.
I had my assistant email them.
Can Business Kirk sort that out? Yeah.
But were you
That's-
chatting to someone there? Like, was there actual email chains?
On their social, and I had a mutual friend give me the email contact,
Right.
and I sent them. They got it. They received it. They gave me some like application number, but the pitch was so solid, and like we had heaps of people tag him and stuff. We were basically going to Europe on this breakfast tour with Bobby Alou. So we did this regional campaign. We went to 50 cafes across Australia, playing free music and helping
Yeah,
cafes.
what's this called? The Breakfast Shirts Tour?
Yeah, the breakfast tour with
Yeah,
Bobby.
the Breakfast Tour, that's right.
With Bobby Alou, and we're taking that to Europe in 3 weeks.
Yep.
And my original idea was, all right, Vegemite, you got to take us over there. You got to be the main sponsor, and we need to educate all the cafes overseas how to spread the right ratios of Vegemite.
Oh my God.
They'd be the perfect sponsor for a breakfast tour in Europe.
just think about all the viral clips of all you have to do is go to different countries and get people to taste the Vegemite and film those responses.
Exactly.
And it's win-win either way. If you have someone, if you're in like Rome and some Italian hates it, you'd be like, and that's why they're not Australian, and bite into
Exactly.
the
You get it. You
it's
get
all
it.
there.
It's all there.
And if they love it, you're like, look at that. They actually like it. And you can always, because whenever you watch these people taste Vegemite on these shows, they get it out like it's Nutella, like this big spoon, and they just smear it across bread. And it's like, no. There's different techniques for Vegemite. There's like the gentle scrape. There's more liberal one.
Can I butt in here with a hot take?
You don't like Vegemite?
No, I love Vegemite, but it pairs better with margarine than butter.
What butter are you using, bro?
No,
I
it's
don't
great
use it.
with
That's
butter.
what I
Also
use
great with
margarine.
cheese.
It's great with
Also with
cheese.
cheese.
And avocado.
And avocado. Also
I'm a
great.
scraper.
So if you're any international listeners out there, if you're trying Vegemite, you just scrape it on. It's just a thin layer. It's like an umami little salt bomb.
I like
delicious.
chunks. Yeah, thin layer, like lots of butter, and then you have little pockets of Vegemite. So you get you kind of too thick Vegemite, but you want every bite to be slightly different.
I also think butter, like when you're using butter, that increases your the amount of Vegemite you can put on. The butter like softens that Vegemite out, so you can go
100%.
harder with the Vegemite as well.
Well,
Anyway, there's great stuff. And I mean, the breakfast tour, that's amazing. We're kind of talking news, but I do want to talk to you about that a bit more because I think it's amazing what you're doing for that, the small businesses and that around the country with this event. Next up in news, what do we have here? Number 3, this is actually, I stole this from your breaking news on your channel. It was something you were talking about. Wage increase in Australia. And I think this is interesting with the people that we have here at the table. Australia's minimum wage award wages has increased by 3.75%. From July 1st, the Fair Work Commission has announced the decision will see the national minimum wage increase to $24.10 per hour and $915.91 per week, based on full-time 38-hour working week. So this is a really interesting thing when you look at cafes and cafe owners, and I want everyone getting paid, but you had a really interesting take on this. Can you elaborate on that a bit more?
yeah, I was coming at it. I think, well, firstly, sure, wage increase is great for all the staff, and I think it should happen.
Yep,
you know, of course. But straight off the bat, when that wage increase hits, the cafe owners, depending how big they are, will have to fork out more thousands of dollars just like that.
Yeah.
And does that mean they increase the price of everything overnight as well? People don't like taking change quick, especially in Australia. And imagine if they did a huge change like that with the prices of everything.
And everyone's already going on about the prices.
They're
of
already
everything.
going on about everything, and they would need to do that just to justify more the extra money they're going to be spending for their staff.
And a huge amount of these cafes are barely breaking even already as small business owners.
So close. It's so tight, the margins. It's so hard.
I even look at, and it's this cruel cycle. I even look at like places. I have a few friends that own places, and we're talking about, the time and a half or whatever it is on public holidays. So for those who don't know, on public holidays, you might get paid like 2.5 times your normal salary in that. So you got baristas standing behind the machine getting $60 an hour. And so everyone I know is just going, oh, that's why I just don't open public holidays anymore, because it costs me more to run the business than I make from doing it. So I just don't do it. So then from that, no one has anywhere to go on public holidays because everyone's shutting down. Staff aren't getting work on those public holidays because it's all held off. And we're paying people more money so they can afford to live, but then the price of living is going to go up so those businesses can survive.
Business Kirk has a take on this.
Oh yeah,
so
small business.
My take is that in the future.
Oh, should we call you Small Business Kirk?
No, just Business Kirk.
Small Business Kirk.
Look at his suit, man. That's not Small Business Kirk.
Small Business Kirk for sure.
Just Business Kirk will do.
I think small business.
So you'll see, my opinion is you'll see more cafes sort of doing less because it's harder and harder to operate a big venue, and it's harder and harder to operate a menu with lots of items. You need staff to service all that, and it's just too hard. So I think what we might see in the future is cafes with smaller menus and smaller offerings so that they can have less people on per shift and actually deliver better quality things, because whether we like it or not, we have to pay people, and the industry will evolve, because it's kind of, this cycle of constantly increasing prices. Like cafe owners have to adapt in some way.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you see Dan Dick, he does that with all of his coffee shops. Nigel, he's like counter service only, less staff, less chance for things to be screwed up along the way, take it out. So that's kind of his approach. So yeah, there will have to be some changes and some evolution in this hospo game to kind of keep up with what's happening. But also, I feel like the government needs to do better. You also did a call out to like all the banks and stuff where you just like every single one of you advertises, we're here for small business. You have some like low depth of field, like shot of some young person working. And it's like, we're supporting that, but it's like the call out of like, no, let's really support it and actually do something.
Well, that worked to an extent.
Oh, tell me what happened.
So what happened with?
So tell people what you did first. Sorry,
I put out this pitch, being like, all right, all the banks, you're claiming that you're helping small business with all your campaigns. This is your chance to show up. I need one of you to show up right now and help cafes across the country who are struggling. Let's do a campaign. The Great Coffee Spend. Encourage people to spend $100 on a weekday at a cafe, and then we'll give away money prize packs. Like imagine if we gave away $5,000 to 5 people. We gave cafes at random for getting involved cash as well. And we made this full campaign encouraging people to spend money and helping cafes in a time of need. And so Ubank, I think it was. Yeah, Ubank. Was that right? Ubank hit us up, which is a subsidiary of NAB. And we negotiated and were working on it for quite some time. And they were great for coming to the table, so respect to them. But it came to a stage when you're working with, and this is something we were talking about this morning, when you work with big brands and big companies, you have to play in their field, and which is fair enough. Like they've got an image to uphold, and they've got all these, brand requirements and stuff. And by the time we negotiated a deal which could have worked, I just don't think it would have benefited the cafes as much as my initial thing. So putting my time in executing that campaign wouldn't have got a really good result for the cafes. So that wasn't a reflection of Ubank for coming. They were great. It was just the timing, the combination of the two, and the metrics. Because picture it this way, if you're encouraging people as a bank to spend money, that's not a great PR thing for the bank. Like people would say, oh, it's easy for you guys to say to spend money, you're a bank. So you've got to take that things into consideration.
They're like, well, why are we going and spend money? You just do it by yourself. You're the one with the pockets.
So there's all these things you got to mitigate and manage. And just based on timing and all that, it didn't fall through in the end. But I'm still I still have the contacts there to pull some stuff off. They're keen to help and get involved.
Well, it's good that you have that connect now, and if something pops up in the future.
Yeah, fully. And it's good to know that some big groups and institutions will come to the table and at least have the discussion because they want to help. And they genuinely did. They were like, okay, we want to help. This is what we can do. Can we make it work? Yeah. So it was great in the end. But
you know who you need to reach out to who'd be great? My partner works for Who Gives a Crap Toilet Paper. You and them would be a perfect combo. Like breakfast shirts, they have all their patterns for like all the
they got cool branding.
Rolls. Like all the branding is like the wild colors. Same branding agency. Are we talking about that? Are we cutting that out?
Is it triple ply?
Just Business Kirk just shakes his head at me. Don't talk about it.
Non-disclosure agreements could get me in serious trouble. But we better get into the podcast. This is a 26-minute introduction.
I mean, this is the podcast. I'm having a great time.
Liam, we're going over an hour for this one. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, some of the questions have already been answered in what we're talking about here. So it's all just happening naturally. There's a good flow. But classic business, small business Kirk, small by name, small by nature, just coming in, wanting to keep the meeting adjourned, wanting to keep the minutes logged, All right, we're up to questions.
Rowan's projecting on me, but anyway. So my question was going to be, what's your coffee order?
Mine? Piccolo.
Piccolo.
People think it's a decaf though.
It's the Piccolos and long blacks are the official coffee of businessmen. Did you know that?
Are they? Piccolos for businessmen.
Long macchiatos, I'm sorry.
So you drink piccolos then?
No,
so he's not a businessman.
I'm a sensitive.
I'm a cortado, man.
I'm a sensitive new age businessman, but they are. I'm serious.
Okay, wow, that's I didn't know that. Yeah. And you're a long black person, obviously.
Yeah, I'll drink everything. The long black it's more probably a double espresso, but if I'm sitting down for like a longer period of time, just because I'll knock it back in 2 seconds and I want something to sit on, I'll get a long black. But just a double espresso for me.
No one's going to ask Business Kirk.
We did. Yeah, what do you have, Business Kirk?
Business Kirk enjoys a flat white.
Oh, there you go. Business Kirk. Is it 3/4 or?
No, just a straight flat white.
Just a straight flat white. No faffing about. No silly business. Just straight up. Is this different from regular Kirk? What does regular Kirk drink?
Regular Kirk, who?
Oh, just some guy I know. I sometimes do this podcast with him. He's like a co-host. He's a bit of a dick, but we get by.
Sounds like an absolute cock.
Yeah, yes. Finally, actually, I like Business Kirk.
Yeah.
Big Business Kirk. He's upgraded. I like this name.
Right.
But a more fitting question, if we're coming and we're looking at that, breakfast shirts, not go-to coffee order. What's your go-to breakfast order?
I usually build my own.
Yeah, what's the building? What do you have in there?
Well, as I mentioned before, I try to avoid bread. So I usually go for some type of bowl that they have, like, like a Buddha bowl, and then I add bacon and eggs if they don't have that.
Yeah.
But if not, I'll just build like bacon, eggs, avocado, mushrooms, tomato, chorizo if I'm really hungry, and just whack it all. And you get a good indication of the cafe that way too. Like you get a bunch of things on it and then you get a good vibe of the cafe.
You can always tell their game by how strong their sides are. You got a good side game. You've got everything, in my opinion.
You've got everything.
It actually made me think, since I've come back to Australia, done this business, and I'm literally running a coffee company, I actually go to so few cafes. Like, I just don't have time during the week. And then on the weekends, it's like, that's not part of the agenda anymore. We're off walking the dog. We're doing whatever. But I think for this podcast and also to support that local group, I think it needs to be like once a week, I'm going to a new cafe. So I'll take suggestions here, but also listeners, I'm sure many of you are working at cafes. If you're in Melbourne, we go up to Sydney and stuff sometimes too, Adelaide, let us know your place. We'll make a list. We'll start crossing off some of these places. We'll pop in and see. Any Melbourne, Sydney, give me some recos of best places you got.
Melbourne and Sydney.
Well,
man, we were talking about this morning. I go to 2 or 3 cafes a day a lot of the time. I'm not saying I forget a lot and like where they are and the names. I'm like, is that place in Melbourne or Perth or Western Australia? Where was that place? There's just so many in there.
Yeah.
That's why I just stick to the good vibe and energy. I'm like, okay, that's a good place. I had a good feeling at that place. Like the place this morning, Virtue.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, no,
lovely.
It's not Virtue. What is it?
It's called Carly now.
Carly in Melbourne. That was great.
Carly in Carlton, just off Lygon down there. It's in a little back alley. So if you want that little hidden away vibe, cruise on down. That was great.
So the Sir Charles Benedict. That's one of my favorite breakfasts in Melbourne.
Business Kirk used to work there.
Oh, did you? That breakfast is awesome.
The vegetarian Benedict as well. Excellent. They got the panko crumbed eggs. They flash fry. So it's like a soft boiler. So it's like still got a yolk, and then they flash fry it with panko crumb. Put it on a roti with some spicy hollandaise.
Oh,
that's a good joint. Code black coffee.
Would say a textural pleasure.
Oh, a textural pleasure, or as we wrongly translate it to a piacere meterico. When you type into Italian translate textural pleasure, it comes up with that, which makes no sense.
Piacere
meterico.
Doesn't that mean like so when you're leaving someone, you say piacere, like see you soon or something. It's nice.
That's like it's like slightly different.
Nice to meet you. Yeah. Piacere, nice to meet you.
No, it's. I think there's like a slight. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. There's a slightly different one. I know what.
Okay, I think you're pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah. Business Kirk. What do you got?
Can Business Kirk ask why breakfast shirts, not something like cocktail shirts or something of the sort?
Well, it's a good question, Kirk. Business Kirk, sorry. Well, we started wearing party shirts to breakfast out. So the whole thing was wearing wild shirts out at breakfast with your friends. So it was only natural that these wild shirts that we collected were to be called breakfast shirts. And we weren't having cocktails at the breakfast. So there's
no Bloody Marys ever?
No Bloody Marys, no.
You don't drink right?
No.
It's a good theme that we're having pop on from a lot of our guests. It's the new world. It's the new way.
Oh, really? Great.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Business Kirk
Good
doesn't
measure
drink much either.
boys. Yeah, good measure boys.
Business
weren't
Kirk
drinking.
doesn't?
No.
Does Kirk drink? Do you know if Kirk drinks?
No, we've had a dinner out where he'll have some, but in general, he's low on the alcohol.
Oh, okay, so well, yeah.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I think it's such a vibe because coffee's kind of the substitute, right? It has the culture, has the kind of like depth of experience, but like
That's why we get a lot of like athletes that follow like Golden Brown or like, a lot of athletes will be into like cafes and that, because I think they focus their energy on like people who might be out like drinking. They're like, I want to really get into coffee. Really enjoy.
It's a booming
that.
industry.
Yeah.
Coffee. Sorry, I almost said Business Kirk. I mean, it is good business, but coffee is a booming industry, as we were discussing the other day, Rowan, and merging middle class in other countries, getting into the coffee. And I think a lot more celebrities are getting into coffee and starting their own coffee brands. We did a podcast
we did that
exclusively about that. So, yeah.
Can you, Liam, put a cut together of Business Kirk saying Business Kirk and like
just Business Kirk. Business Kirk.
business.
Yeah,
Business. Yeah.
That's going to take up 15 minutes of the podcast.
Yeah.
I got you.
Small Business Kirk.
Sounds like a good podcast.
So one of my favorite things is talking about like kind of the horror stories and that of like, or just grudges and pet peeves. You've gone into so many cafes. Like, tell us, what are some of the worst experiences, or what are some of like the things that are just happening that are wrong in cafes? Or tell us a funny story about that.
Things that are wrong. You mean like...
Like, what have you just had with like entering, like bad treatment, like things that have just gone horribly wrong?
Is
too many.
Well, I just don't store those in my brain.
Oh, you're a positive vibe.
I try to be.
That's good.
Like I will be controversial in a video and complain about some really minor things.
Yeah.
Which I don't really care about that much.
Yeah.
But bad things that have happened at cafes or...
Well, do you want to know one of my pet peeves? And it kind of happened today. I noticed whenever you say to a waiter when they come over and they like want to take your order and you go, oh no, we haven't even looked, we'll just need one more minute. They then get scared of coming back to the table and they disappear for like 20, 30 minutes. And I'm like, no, I literally meant one more minute. Like I just wanted to decide here. And you're always just left like, hello, someone.
Yeah. To be fair, we had a camera on us and she probably
that was different.
But I agree.
And she was also fangirling like this guy, like we walk in, like, hey, you're here. I was wondering if you want to come in. Like, oh my God. And then like knew his like food order, knew his coffee order from like watching all the videos, had them all saved. So he's like a viral celebrity amongst the hospo world, right?
So you've got no dodgy stories to share.
Well, like I've got pet peeves. It's not necessarily about...
Yeah, hit us with a pet peeve.
Well, I did a rant the other day about when people complain about paying for food. So it's more about the attendees who go to cafes.
Yeah.
It's like, $16 for avo on toast. What a ripoff. And like they just forget that they're going out somewhere eating. They're paying to not wash a plate, to have it all done for you, to be in a venue which someone's paying rent on, to do what you're going out to pay for breakfast. And you're what do you think avo on toast should be? Should the whole world revolve around what suits your financial situation? Yeah, I guess you would want to pay fucking $3 for some avo on toast. Would it be great for you? Would it be great for anyone else? Like, people don't think these fucking things through. Oh, we allowed to swear?
Go for it.
Sorry. That was the first time. 35 minutes. That's not bad.
You've done well holding off. I think I told it on here before, but the easy go-to example is we used to have like fruit toast on the menu. And this is years ago. This is back when 2 pieces of fruit toast was like $6, $7. People would come in and they go, I just want the one slice of fruit toast. And I go, absolutely, we can do that. It's still going to cost you exactly the same, but I can give you one piece of fruit toast instead. They're like, well, I'm only getting half. Should I only pay? You're like, you're paying to be here and have someone's putting it, cutting it, toasting it.
That'd be my pet peeve, is when people try and enact the bartering system on 16-year-old wait staff.
Yeah, exactly. On some kid that's just like not getting paid enough, who's like been up.
I'm going to try and negotiate my breakfast price with you after I've eaten it.
Yeah,
and I saw the price.
Yeah.
Or I could have looked at it. But on that, what's your secret to picking a good cafe to go and eat at?
These days, okay, to pick
or is your coverage just so large that you just go to them and then...
I intentionally go to shit cafes sometimes because I have it so good. We have it so good. There's so many good cafes everywhere. I need to ground myself constantly. And sometimes I'll just walk into a place that looks average and I'll just cop it just so it makes you appreciate the good ones. You know what I mean? So I don't really have... And because I go to so many and variety is good, And I'm not always looking for a great place unless I'm like, okay, I need a really good coffee and a really good brekkie. Then I'll do some PBR, we call it, pre-breakfast research. Maybe I'll go to the Instagram, see a couple of the meals. I'll make sure one thing I sort of do avoid is if it looks too clinical and too clean cut. Like that was 2012 for 1 or 2 years. It was cool to have an all white cafe with a baller coffee machine on the thing. And like everyone's so perfect in there and like they're all sassy and, you know, they kind of treat you like they don't want you to be there. Like, yeah, okay, that was cool for like 30 minutes. But now sometimes if I see a place too clean cut and like with no soul or personality, I'm like, I'm not going in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
There's a constant cycle that kind of happens in like the style and design of like things that happen. I remember when I first started, it was like that rustic mix match chairs, all that kind of stuff going on. Then we kind of got like fancier in that. And then it's kind of like rebirth round to like, oh, there's graffiti out the front. Someone bombed it. Yeah, fine. That's what it is. Or like that door's broken. That's fine. We'll just do that. Definitely a bit of character and a bit of vibe.
What does Business Kirk look for when he is scouting a cafe?
Business Kirk likes people that are happy. You know, I feel like you can sell me a half-baked flat white or half-baked breakfast if you're polite and kind and there's a good vibe there. So Business Kirk appreciates, you know, the
That was exactly what we were saying this morning. We sat down, we had amazing staff, and I was like, the food tastes good and it hasn't even come out because I've just had a lovely time with the staff here and felt welcome to it and everything.
Great. Well, Business Kirk's growing on me because I like that answer. I feel the same way.
I'm nuanced.
Now, I know about this. Kirk, do you know much about the breakfast tour? Business Kirk, sorry.
I've kept across. I had my assistant send me some notes about it the other day, and you know, I know he's touring the whole country, trying one breakfast spot at a time. Yeah, it's very impressive.
So you've done it. You've toured around. Now you're going overseas. One of the things that I just want to point out that I really like here is your commitment and dedication to the local community in these smaller places, that you are bringing businesses, customers and people. So for everyone that knows, all these like little mini gigs that you're putting on are held at different cafes around the country. So you're seeing like a lot of these places are having their best business days ever, right? From you doing this?
Yeah, a bunch of cafes on that first tour had record days in terms of sales.
Yeah, which is amazing to do that. And you can see why you're kind of beloved amongst that coffee community and everyone's trying to get you in the door. How many cafe requests are you getting a day from that?
You mean applications to be a part of the tour? We've got probably 300 for the next one.
Yeah, wow.
Next year, mostly in Australia, but some of those are overseas as well. Last year we had 250 total. Yeah. But lots of people messaging daily to come to their cafe on Instagram, just in general, not necessarily for the breakfast tour, but just, you know, wanting some breakfast shirts.
How are you finding being immersed in this community compared to others? Because I kind of feel like coffee is one of the greatest communities in the world and one of the kindest, and everyone seems to just want to get along because of this mutual, I guess, partnership of being involved in the industry. How are you finding being in coffee? Because you're also a muso, so is there any contrast between the two?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, every industry has the nice parts of the community and, you know, the standoffish things as well. Like, how do I find being in the coffee? I like it. But like, as you guys all know, I know nothing about coffee and everything. So like, I don't know that aspect of the community, but coffee in general brings people together. You know, that's why I like the coffee industry. And yeah, so that's what attracts me to it. You know, the human connection and, you know, sharing a coffee together. That's what coffee should stand for. Yeah.
Great.
Now, also like me, you're in the brutal world of content creation and making videos and that. Looking today, like we sat down, had breakfast, you're filming it. You've probably got 40 minutes of just like banter and that you're then sitting down, editing all these clips, uploading that. Like there's so much work and so much effort that goes into this. I can hear you pitching great ideas about Vegemite. What are some of your gripes or things that you'd like to see changed in this kind of creator economy and everything that's happening? Or how do you think that you could have been treated better along the way? Or do you think you've been treated fairly and well?
Fairly by who? The brands I've worked with, or like
brands?
Yes, that's a good question. How do I feel? A lot of people don't know the effort. It's such a because the market decides what video performs well, and brands just want to see videos that performs well. Although I've been video editing for 15 years, I've worked for big companies video editing. I'm a storyteller, and you may not see it directly in my style of content because it's all over the shop. But I break down the video, and I can talk about that. That might be something interesting to talk about later. But I have a system, a strategy. I've been doing it for so long. Videos take me, like that video this morning will take me up to 3 hours, maybe more, just to get a 2-minute video out there. Brands don't necessarily see, or this person has skills as a creator. He's not just an like influencer or something. Like trying to show that point of business, especially when you're dealing with like middle management marketing at these big companies who don't have that much experience.
Yeah.
And you're trying to sell yourself or something. I'm doing things at Breakfast just to try and avoid having to work with big companies and just do it all myself, because it's very time consuming.
You've got a bit more autonomy that way as well.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I can be myself and let it rip. You know what I mean? You don't have to feel like you're treading on eggshells just to be able to work with these brands.
Yep.
You know, did I answer the question then? I feel like I
absolutely.
Yeah.
And even if you didn't, that's like the ultimate politic, is like if someone asks you a question, just talk around abouts in a way and you get around it anyway that everyone forgets what the original question was. Yeah. We're also, you know, our producer's being very professional here and being very silent. We've just got a guy standing at the door. I don't know what he's doing, whether he's like
get him on the podcast,
or it does smell in here a bit. So maybe he's just trying to fix the plumbing. I don't know what's happening.
Maybe he's here to pick up the heroin that was dropped.
Oh, yeah. Business Kirk's got a side hustle.
No. I was telling you when we got broken into, and lucky the alarm went off and the police came. Yeah. But there was like an empty bag of heroin left, like out of the as they were climbing down from the toilet roof.
You know, back that's hectic. Like you need a guard dog here.
The police, luckily like they didn't really get much because they had to get out because the police were notified immediately.
Did they steal some of your coffee?
They actually we saw that they brewed up some coffee, they tasted it, and then they left it, which was horrible. So obviously not a good review.
You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger used to break into gyms so that he could work out after hours.
Oh, apparently. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
When he was competing in the Mr. Olympia.
I mean, maybe he wasn't big enough then. I'm like, if you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, you're like, let me just come in. Let me train.
But back to the brands thing just quickly, because this is probably important. I wish they had more obligation. They're so financially driven, these big companies, which is fair enough because they've grown to this huge thing. They've got people to pay. They have this reputation. Everything's got to be financially driven. But I wish they had more obligations to support cool things. Like I want to be in a society that is doing cool things, like supports music, arts, culture, something so good about like the community aspect of coffee. Like these brands, I just want them to dive in and invest in things that make things in life good.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what I wish.
And you do get so little of that. It is always like that bigger picture where you're like, is this going to increase your sales by X% or whatever? No, but is it cool for you to do and be a part of that? And like you're just being like decent, you have the money to spend, then that's a cool thing to do. I mean, it's still obviously amazing branding for them, but when we were working with Sunbeam, I did like 5 or 6 videos with them throughout the year just talking about machines. And at the end of the year, they were like, oh, maybe we'll do a Christmas video together, try to like get people out buying machines. And I said, screw that. Don't pay us for this video. I'm like, just send me as many machines as you can and I'll just hide them around Melbourne and get some little clues for people and get them to find them. And they were like, oh, how many machines do you need? I was like, I don't know, 20. They're like, sure. 20 machines delivered to my apartment. They were stacked up in my bathroom for weeks. And then over the week of Christmas, it was brutal. We went out around Melbourne and I just filmed myself in the location, go, if you know where I am, come down right now. And it was wild. We had like, by the last day, we had about 60 people rock up to like the stairs. Really? People were like running, like for each one, even when I was out in the middle of like a reservoir out in like Healesville or whatever, people were there in 15 minutes from posting the video. Just like, and then I felt so bad for the people that you'd see like running after someone's got it, like sprinting. Like some guy I think pulled a hammy. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It was like in the 60s. But yeah, those kind of nicer things, a bit of that would be, brand should have like just the fun, friendly budget where it's like every year there's $100,000 that we can put towards just doing something fun and friendly, and it's still good for the brand.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, a lot of them don't realize that maybe.
Yeah.
One day.
Now, I've just got, let's see if you have something off the bat. You were talking about your content strategy and how you do it there.
Mm-hmm.
You're a lot cooler than I am.
Me?
Yeah. Looking at Golden Brown, is there anything you look at it and be like, you should fix this, or you would be better, or maybe you should try this? Do you have any advice for me as Golden Brown to improve the channel?
Here's my thing. You have 1 million followers or whatever. I have 25,000. Why are you taking advice from me?
Because you're so cool.
Yeah, but cool doesn't pay bills all the time, bro. I'm out here working the streets trying to sell some shirts every other week and finalize deals. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, all right.
I should be taking notes from your book.
I think
I'm saying.
I think we've struck a lifelong friendship here, and I think you and I can both help each other out.
Take it from Business Kirk. You're cooler. He's just figured out the business.
Okay,
because you've got advice from me.
Fully. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, but it's all personal preference.
Yeah,
because your page is very put together. It's informative. The videos are cool, but I love people who have a bit of skin in the game and show their personality more. Like, I've learned so much about you this morning from having the breakfast and just chatting one-on-one than I see from your videos. And I like that connection online. But like, that may not benefit your strategy or your business. So like, that's what I personally like.
I agree. Who knows if that's the direction we want, or whether we want to keep it more business, but I have thought about that a lot. And you obviously, you're talking about your followers and that, but they are like hard fan base. Like, walking to the cafe today and seeing the way the barista reacted behind the bench is crazy. I mean, you're talking about 1 million followers. I walked in, she's like, who the hell is this old guy? I don't know who this is. She literally called me old. She was talking about a tattoo style. She's like, what's it called? Ignorant tattoos. She's like, oh, do you know Ignorant Tattoos? I'm like, oh, is that like a tattoo artist or something? She's like, oh, no, it's a style, but I guess it's for younger people. And I'm like, oh my God.
She asked.
One star review incoming.
No, Perry's fantastic. She's the best.
Well, you called her Eilish because she kind of looks like Billie Eilish.
I know,
but
I'm so
anyway.
sorry, Perry.
Perry.
She asked me, she was like, who is this guy you're with? And I'm like, oh, the real deal. Oh, did he enjoy his long black? I'm like, I don't know.
I love that. Keep from guessing.
No, I told her.
I just look back from the table and give him a...
Yeah, that freak out. She looked you up by the end of it. I was like,
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
As a business owner myself, being Business Kirk, do you have any tips that I should take on about
what
being
businesses do you own, Kirk? I don't know enough about you.
Well, I've got a cafe called Project Zero Coffee.
Oh, wait, what's it called?
Where
Project Zero Coffee.
Project Zero. Whereabouts is that?
140 King Street.
Oh,
in the
okay.
CBD.
Project, one word. Project, then Zero.
Project
in
Zero
the
Coffee.
CBD?
Yeah, in the CBD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what tips do you got for me? From a cool guy.
And also just from his side, it's mainly like coffee and like pastries and stuff,
Take
right?
away.
We're a takeaway coffee bar.
How long have you had this business?
5 months now.
5 months. You're new.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Fresh out of the womb.
Well, I haven't been, and I haven't owned a cafe. So, what advice are you seeking from me here?
How to make it cooler?
How to make it cooler?
Just like good
Don't
experiences.
wear that suit there.
I'm an executive, so I don't. I'm not a foot soldier all the time.
You're not there. You're just making the decisions. That may come to ruin your business because people want to see a bit of personality and
Be a bit hands-on.
they want hands on. They want the connection with the guy who owns it, and they want to have a chat with you, Kirk.
Well, in the absence of that, then I'll ask you this: what's something you wish more people knew about you?
Something that more people knew about me. Oh, I show a lot of me. You know what I mean? I feel like I don't have an answer for that. I'm so sorry. I should. Yeah.
If I were to bring up one talking point on that, I found it quite interesting to learn that you don't drink.
Okay.
And I think this is something that has been really enlightening for a lot of people and some of the guests that we've had on this podcast. Because I used to not drink heavily, but drink quite a lot, and one of the best things that I've ever done is to quit. Like, I still occasionally have a wine, but I don't binge drink ever anymore, and it's been one of the best things ever.
Well, here's my thing on drinking. Like, I don't want to create a separation between people who drink and people who don't, because that just creates this weird tension. It's not cool. So it's cool to have environments and meetings with people where it's not discussed at all. But I went on a date a few weeks ago.
Ooh.
Yeah, with this girl, and I don't drink, and I don't want to be the guy who says, "Oh, by the way, I don't drink." She does drink. She ordered the wine. I just ordered the soda, and she didn't ask me about it.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask her, and it was amazing.
That's perfect.
I don't have to have the conversation, I don't drink because I just don't really like the taste and I just don't feel like, I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to come up and it was perfect. I'm not judging you for drinking. You're not judging me for not drinking. Let's just go on about our lives. So I don't actively, I'm not one of those guys say whatever. But the double-edged sword, the other thing is I get a lot done by not drinking, and I'm up early. My output's insane. I think drinking would slow me down.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that's the positive of not.
Probably a few hot tips for Rowan and all of that. So
Oh yeah, like we had like one stout beer that got bought in yesterday, so I had that on the podcast. So now from that standard, I'm a heavy drinker.
Oh, according to
Business Kirk, that's
Business
his
Kirk.
analysis of the situation.
there's been a few more scandals that I haven't had, but we'll just leave it there for all intents
Business
and purposes.
Kirk.
Yeah.
But drinking in Australia is like such a strong like part of the culture as well, and like I got close mates who still try and get me to drink. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
At
trying to
events,
get you to drink is so stupid. I remember hearing like Hughesy, the comedian Hughesy, being like, people come up to me constantly at a bar and they're like, "Oh, I got you a beer," and he's like, "I don't drink." And they're like, "Come on, you got to have a drink with us." He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to give up 30 years of sobriety so I can have a drink with two random idiots that I met at a bar. Get the hell away from me!" Like,
I love that.
no, you gotta have one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, idiotic. Now, you were just saying you went on a date, which kind of leads me into the next question. What's all this happening with Abbie Chatfield? Can you give us feedback?
With who?
Abbie Chatfield?
Who's that?
Well, Business Kirk knows because when I wasn't invited to breakfast this morning, me and Abbie went and had a bit of
No, okay, I'll tell you.
shared a few poached eggs. Let's go to speak, so to speak.
Ew.
Here's
The
that.
hell does that mean?
Yeah, that's a
We
bit,
went to
that's a bit
breakfast and
dirty.
we each individually ordered a serving of poached eggs.
Ew.
Business Kirk's got some shit going on, eh?
Yeah, Jesus.
Wow.
Business Kirk.
This is what I was up to while you two were
It's
having
always
breakfast.
these button-up guys that like behind
That I
closed
was
doors are
invited
just
to.
chaotic.
Fully. Okay, so the Abbie thing. So I follow through with a lot of silly things at breakfast shirts, and I put a lot of shit out there, and it doesn't always work, and I just, whatever sticks, I run with it. Throw it at the wall, see what happens. Abbie Chatfield, I didn't know who she was before. She liked a video, and I saw someone with a tick, and I clicked it, and then I recognized the name. That's all I knew. Okay, this famous person has just liked a video of breakfast shirts.
Love that.
And I just randomly put out a video saying, "Guys, Abbie Chatfield just liked a breakfast shirt video. Should we go to breakfast?" I put that out to the audience. And it blew up, just that one little video on a story. Then I was like, oh, this is...
I've tapped into a right niche here.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I kept dropping videos being like, Abbie, come to breakfast with me. And it got to the stage where I was making videos, Abbie, I'm going to be at this cafe in 30 minutes, meet me there. And I'd film me going. And then
She hasn't come.
No, all these people started getting invested. She kept getting tagged. We have mutual friends who sent her the video, her manager saw it. I had a dating show hit me up that she's associated with to try and get me to come on that. And all these things. And then she started messaging and we were like teeing up a date. It still hasn't happened. She's dropped off in the DMs now.
She's ghosting.
Yeah, she's ghosting. We had breakfast plans, you know what I mean? So I just put something out there and I wanted to follow through with
that's
it.
great. Well, we hope it happens. Do you have a message for Abbie right now? Come on, Abbie.
No, I think, you know what?
You're done with it.
No, I'm not done with it. I'm not, I'm not fully done.
We nearly had a.
If you want to go to breakfast, that's fine. But I've got my sights, I've raised my breakfast goals,
Yep.
So maybe I was thinking the next person.
Oh, here is this the first?
Yeah, this is the first. I'm dropping
here
it
on the pod. We've got a new date. We've got a new breakfast date.
Goal. A breakfast quest with someone. That's right. Abbie Chatfield, if she doesn't, that's fine. Set my sights higher. Chappelle Corby, let's go to breakfast.
Chappelle Corby, bring the boogie board.
Why
Let's
Chappelle
have
Corby?
a time.
She bought a breakfast shirt. And
Oh.
yeah, it was so funny.
Wait, for
we
those
were messaging,
Go ahead.
and yeah, she sounds like a vibe. So Chappelle Corby and we should go to breakfast at some stage. Yeah, I think.
And for those listening who don't know, can you give us a rundown of why Chappelle Corby is famous?
Okay. Well,
We probably have international listeners here who would have no idea.
oh, so true. It's such a niche
Yeah.
Australian thing. So Chappelle Corby is somewhat of an Australian
Icon.
Icon, yeah. And I'm pretty sure she's famous for making handmade clocks. That's what she does now.
Oh, that's what she does now.
Yeah. How about you explain, Rowan?
Yeah, originally famous. What was it? A boogie board bag?
Boogie board.
She was coming back from Bali and tried to smuggle marijuana in a boogie board bag. Allegedly. Got busted and then was in jail for how long?
In Bali, was it?
Over 10 years, but she almost got sentenced to death.
She nearly got sentenced to death.
Wow.
They bartered with them. They held it off 10 years. Then she got out. And now she's making clocks and buying breakfast shirts.
And she has a book on her story as well.
Oh, there you go.
So people, read the book, I guess.
So you've heard it here first. We want to get breakfast shirts on a date with Chappelle Corby.
Business Kirk would like to know, Rowan.
Date's a big word. No, sure. Okay, a breakfast campaign for me to go.
Okay.
With Chappelle Corby.
Sure. I love that you're like, date's a big word. Let's not get it mixed up here.
Well, yeah. I was inferring that with Abbie, and then she noted, I've heard about this campaign about me, and I liked the campaign sound more. It's a breakfast campaign.
Okay, it's a breakfast campaign.
Yeah.
Well, Rowan, who would you like to go to breakfast with if you were to start a campaign? Who would your subject be?
Pablo Escobar.
Okay.
I'm raising the Pablo Escobar.
That's a dangerous breakfast.
It's a dangerous breakfast.
Yeah, fully.
I'll be having ground beans. He'll be having ground powder.
Okay.
Plates and plates.
Yeah.
Who would you like to go to breakfast with?
I'd hit up Albo.
Oh, yeah.
Our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese.
I'm so out of touch with the politics. Is Albanese liked? Like, do people like him? Like, what's the situation? No, not really.
Well, I don't actually particularly like him or his policies. And his opposition is not much better. Peter Dutton, not better at all. But if I'm trying to have breakfast and just influence a little bit, try and enlighten people to the plight of the hospitality industry right now, I'd campaign for Albo, come have breakfast, come see what it's like.
Would you? Okay.
I mean, Trump would be pretty interesting right now after the shot. Talk to him about that experience.
Yeah.
But if I'm going somewhere,
that seemed fake to me.
If someone didn't die in the crowd, I would have been like, it seemed fake to me as well. But
did someone die in the crowd?
Someone died.
Someone shooting
someone
their
got
family.
shooting
they did get shot.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So if it was just
I didn't know that.
No gunman, didn't know what happened, all of a sudden there's just this little pop of blood, maybe I'd be like, this is all set up. And the way that he just jumped to his feet. But was the person dying, was that verified or was that just propaganda? No, it's verified.
It happened.
Actually? Okay.
And just for the record, I believe it was real.
You're scared.
Well, a part of his ear did get shot off and someone died. So it'll seem real to me.
Yeah. Well, I had nothing about that. But back to the Albanese thing or whatever. Do you think as a business owner, as a cafe owner, I don't know enough about politics on either side and policies and all that because, to be honest, I'm so busy anyway, and the time I do have to myself, I'd rather spend at the beach not reading. What government do you think would serve cafe owners better, Labor or Liberal? Do you know enough about to comment on that?
I do, but honestly, it's such a redundant.
They're both shit.
Exactly. There's no one prepared in politics to really help small business substantially. I think there's too much going on in the world for anyone to really make a huge difference. And also, I don't think anyone, and this is more of a personal thing than it is business, but I don't think any government is positioned to really influence your life anymore in a positive way, which sounds sad to say, but I hope that a lot of Australians vote for the minor parties. I think Australia's political system right now, we've only got two choices, and I think that's how do we get there? But there should be more choices, and I think if you vote a minor party at the next election, then you probably. I don't have any particular party that I support, but I just think we need to break the system where we only have two choices effectively.
Business Kirk coming in with the goods.
I'd vote for Business Kirk.
I'd vote for Business Kirk.
Hey, Liam, can I hold this mic like this?
Yeah, sit back.
Is that all right? Yeah.
Now, the last little thing here on the website, you've made some pretty cool breakfast terminology. Let's throw some of that lingo out to our fans and let them know what they think about it. So, what is a BF? Do you know these just by the?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, what's a BF?
I founded them.
So it's not a best friend.
Breakfast flake.
Oh, what's a breakfast? Breakfast. That's something very different.
Different one, right?
He's gone his poached eggs. We're going to breakfast.
Yeah, a breakfast flake is someone who flakes out on a breakfast date. They have plans and they don't have any follow through with the breakfast, or they pull out last minute. They don't have conviction.
Hate a
in
breakfast
the breakfast
flake.
world. Yeah, they're the worst.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I found the breakfast flake, it would have been bigs when you did like a night out, and then you'd all go to breakfast, and maybe that person would go too hard and then they just pull out.
Yeah,
you got to
typical.
commit to the bit.
Yep.
SBE.
Solo breakfast experience. That's when you go to breakfast by yourself and enjoy the breakfast by yourself, which I do a lot at the moment.
Yeah, I love a solo breakfast experience.
Right, yeah.
Yep. And last one, what is CBE?
City breakfast epidemic.
Yep.
Kirk, you might relate to this or not. I hope you don't, because it's typically a bad thing. But when a cafe doesn't need to be that good because they're in such a high traffic dense, that's CBE, city breakfast. Like Darling Harbour in Sydney, there's so many people.
It's an epidemic.
It's an epidemic. And the cafes don't need to be that good because there's that many people who are going to come in and buy something anyway.
Yeah.
And it's tragic because Darling Harbour and the Rocks, such a beautiful spot. It would be such a mad spot for a good brekkie and good coffee and stuff. But
there is one good place down at the Rocks in Sydney, Black and White Coffee. I think Black and White Espresso.
Oh, is that the new one on the art gallery side?
I couldn't tell you, but in the Rocks, Black and White Espresso,
Okay.
I had a decent coffee there.
Right.
And so do we think the problem with the city is just that rent is high probably. They just want to make as much money as possible, and they got bums on seats, so they just don't need to raise the quality level.
Yeah, exactly. They don't need to. So it's like, as much as I'm complaining about it, it's easy for me. They don't need to. They need to do whatever.
But it's annoying. You do want it in the city. Like,
Yeah,
I'd be
cool.
going there. I want good spots in the city. Speaking of good spots in the city.
Oh yeah, Project Zero Coffee, 140 King Street. But one of my favourite parts of Sydney is Taronga Zoo. Imagine having really good coffee where you go look at a giraffe or something,
Yeah.
A bit of that stuff is happening now. This isn't obviously in those, but if there's a few more like parks and stuff where it's like Fitzroy Gardens or whatever it is, where they're starting to like open slightly better places. But that's the vibe. Middle of a park, can't even see any city. Just get into a nice cafe.
You know who we should collab with? Because I saw he did something on coffee. Erwin. What's
Robert
Irwin. I think I saw a video of him making a coffee or something at Taronga Zoo. Did he?
Oh yeah, it was like his first coffee ever or something like
Well,
that.
let's call out Bob Irwin. Come on the podcast. Let's
Get him on the podcast.
Let's get Bobby on. Let's make a we just got some ambulance out the back here.
Oh, no.
That's all right. Just rolling down through the tram lane, ambulance. Good on them. They're getting there quick. They're saving whoever needs to be saved.
It looks like there's
it's literally across the road.
Yeah, okay.
Oh man. Yeah,
Witness
something's
some-
happening across the road. We'll keep you updated if anything unfolds across the road.
But Bob Irwin would love to come and make a few lattes
And-
while you're feeding crocodiles, etc.
Yeah, bring some snakes.
Steve Irwin, icon. I look back at some of his videos. They're beautiful. Someone bring a tear to your eye when he talks about his conservation. He was like, he has this beautiful video where he's like, was asked, when would you stop doing this? When will you stop working? And Steve Irwin was like, when I feel like my job is done and when I can, let nature stand is when my kids are ready to take over for me. That's when I'm ready to stop. And then it just cuts to his kids just doing it. Giving myself goosebumps over here.
What a legend.
So,
Yeah.
Like,
I was explaining to my girlfriend who's from Canada what it was like when Steve Irwin died. I got in the car and my mum said, something terrible's happened. I was like, what? She said, Steve Irwin died. And my family just all bawled their eyes out. They played it at school. It was kind of like a national tragedy. They played it at school so that we all had to, we all watched the memorial. And was tragic. And I've got a hot take on this.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I'm glad that he never lived to be cancelled or have some scandal because he's always just immortalized to be something great.
Yeah.
Whereas, everyone sort of has a scandal these days and has to go through something or gets cancelled for whatever reason.
What did they say? Die a hero or live long enough to become a villain. Batman.
Yes.
But he's just always going to be forever a legend.
Yeah.
Agree. And while we're talking about that, something that breakfast shirts stand strongly for, make this about breakfast shirts.
Please.
Fuck cancel culture. It's fucking done. The pendulum's hit full tilt. You're going to act like an idiot and try and cancel everyone for having an opinion. Let people have an opinions. Let them be wrong. Let them correct themselves. Stop canceling everyone because you're just fucking, I don't know what you are. You're bored or some shit. Like just,
well,
we're done with it.
I would tend to agree with you. I think the tide is turning on that on sort of both sides of politics as well. I think everyone's pretty well done with it. That being said, don't conduct in criminal acts. That'll tend to make people like you less. But feel free to say whatever you want, I feel.
Yeah. And speaking of saying whatever you want, Kirk has prepared the rapid fire questions. I'd done some of them, but Kirk said, no, Rowan, I've done them secretly on my phone, so I'm a little terrified of what's to come. But what we do here every week is we put a minute on the clock. We do rapid fire questions. You have to try to get through as many as possible in that timer. So, Liam.
Wait, before we do that, because this is like the last thing in the podcast.
Is it? Then there's our hot takes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I got one or two more things I need to shout out.
Yeah, please.
Do you want me to do that now or after?
No, do it now.
Oh, okay. The first thing is this breakfast tour that we didn't finish talking about. We're taking it to Europe in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to shout out, we've got a sponsor come on board, OMG Milk.
Oh, yeah.
They sponsored the first one. And I just want to, I didn't need to mention them on this, but they're showing up to game day, putting money behind us doing cool campaigns and stuff. So they do oat milk, and lots of the cafes on the tour switched to them during it, which I loved because, they're like, these guys are supporting my industry and helping facilitate this thing. So they're the main sponsor for this breakfast, Bobby.
And look at that. That's such good business there on that side because they're just doing the right thing without meaning to. And then signing on however many new cafes is huge for business over those long terms of ordering and that kind
definitely.
of stuff. So well worth their investment.
And like I don't think they even supply oat milk goodness in Europe, but they're so passionate about supporting breakfast shirts and what we're doing that they're literally being the sponsor for the European League.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's just baller.
No, good on them. I like them.
Good shout out. And my other thing was I have this book which I thought you guys would like to see.
Oh, please show us the book.
I can't show you the contents of the book, or maybe one or two.
There's a 50 in there, people. Everyone who's listening, there's a little black book. Well, there's way more. There's like thousands in there.
No, I don't know why the cash is in there. I need to go to a bank.
It's a little black book with a little band around it. It's like a little diary thing.
Yeah, this is my black book of people and brands that said no to breakfast shirts.
Oh, he's got a little black book.
I'm taking notes.
He's keeping receipts.
Yeah, and some of these people have come back around and tried to work with us since I put them in the black book because, we've grown over the past year. So tides are turning.
And you're a man of morals, so I'm sure you shut
I
them
am.
down.
Yeah. I'm not a good businessman in that sense. Yeah. So I'm going to show you a couple of the names. You can't mention them on the podcast, but we can discuss it.
Wait, can we say them out loud and then you'll beep everything?
No.
Okay, so
I don't want you to have that footage.
You don't want any record.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want you to have any record.
And I think there's also just like $1,000 in cash in there.
When you said you're Italian, I didn't quite believe you, but now...
Yeah, there's some real Italian.
What I usually do with this is probably seat me off. Carry so much cash to balance out the seat.
I feel like you could get the job done with a napkin.
There we go. We're good.
I got it.
I got to get a photo of this. This is
good.
how ballers.
I feel like you could get the job done with a napkin as well, but cash is cooler.
I'm very forgetful though, so I have left cash under the table.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
let's have a look at it.
I'm not going to show you all of them because some of them are a bit too red hot, and like breakfast shirts is not big enough to take the backlash if it gets back. You know what I mean? But one day, if we get to where I want to be, I will call these people out.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
Hey, Business Kirk.
Business Kirk.
Chill, bro. I need to.
So we're opening the book here. We're flicking the pages. This is tantalizing stuff.
Some of the reasons of why some of these brands are in this book is very petty of me. I will acknowledge
They've done
that.
nothing wrong. They just they called you the wrong name. They called you Mork.
No. Sometimes they're just too smug. Their attitude is too smug, or they're too elitist.
Yep.
So they get in the book.
I love
because
this.
I'm not about that. All right?
I need to start a book. Okay, here we go. We've got a page here. Oh, unexpected. It's not where I would have thought that was going.
$1 billion company.
Yeah.
Hit us up to do a collab. It was going to be a big deal. 500 shirts. Awesome. Like the pitch they hit us up and then I re-pitched them. Like, let's rework this. It's going to be really good for you guys. To get the ball rolling, I need to pay a designer and get a sample done. $250.
Nothing.
Didn't want to pay it.
Are you kidding me?
They call me back a week later. Oh, I've been trying to get it over the line with management. Do that. And I said, if you commit to the big deal, I'll minus that off afterwards. But this is just to show you some respect. And on principles, like, it's a mine $250.
Yeah.
For a company that size.
Are you guys doing anything for free? Are you doing anything for free?
I'd already sent them samples. So I've already lost money just to call it. And I said, no, we're not going to do it for free. I just said no because I was sick of it at the time. I was sick of putting all my money into these false hopes. And I just, like a few weeks before, I was like, no, from now on, I don't care who it is.
That's a big company.
I'm not doing that. So they called me back another week. Got like a counter offer for you. They tried
$50.
to pay.
They tried to buy it down to 50. That's so insulting. That's
Oh
worse than
my
nothing.
God.
That's worse than like, I just don't have the budget at the time and like, I'll get you the stuff later. $50 is like, no, you have access to the money. You just will only give me $50.
Right?
Well, you know
they were
from the
willing to
get-go.
spend 40 grand or whatever it was afterwards. Wild. So I said, no.
Yeah, good on you.
No, I'm not doing it. And part of it's dumb because if I did do it and they went with it, we would have made money. But on principle, if you don't respect small businesses at this level, I was paying a designer to mock something up. I was paying for a sample. I'm not making on that $250. It's probably $50 worth of admin fee, $100 for the designer just to do something real quick, and $100 for the sample. Like, come on, if you're not going to show up there and you're a huge company, I don't want you in my life.
Yeah, good call.
So fucking
And
done.
They've got the money too.
Oh yeah, they're going to
They got the money. Well, we're gonna,
go on,
you going to show us one more?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah.
You want to see?
Yeah, show us some more. Kirk's just ready. He's done something here with these rapid fire questions and he's just
I'm not sure if I
rearing to
should
go.
show this one.
Oh, show it. You
Oh,
got to show it.
Come on.
Okay,
We'll keep it quiet on that. Oh, that is huge.
Can I ask the indiscretion this business committed?
Wait, sorry, is this business committed?
Well, no. Can I ask what they did?
A few little things, which I'll talk with you maybe after the podcast on it, but overall just a bit too cool, a bit elitist, and I think they're all talk and they don't show up on game day.
Yeah.
And,
Also big.
and they're sneaky.
Also,
Sneaky.
it's a smaller thing masquerading from a giant thing.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. And I could say some stuff right now, but I'm not going to.
We're going to talk after the podcast.
Yeah, we're going to fucking talk
get
after
it.
the podcast. There was one
And
more.
then
I
we're
wanna
going to
show
give
you.
one more and then we're going to shoot these.
I'll show this one actually.
I don't even
Didn't even know
I don't
what it
even
is.
know what that is.
Oh, yeah.
Swing easy.
Thing is, this is Bobby Alu's playlist. All right, Bobby Alu is the guy I went on breakfast tour with. He has a very big playlist called Swing Easy, and it's all very chill music. Bobby's a very chill dude.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time with him on the road, and I was just like, one day, you know what? Fuck Swing Easy. People are sick of chilling out and swinging easy, Bobby. Swinging medium is where it's at. So I created a playlist called Swing Medium, and I take things so far.
That's how I've lived my life.
Yeah, swing medium. And Bobby's just he loves his swing easy playlist too much, mate. It's done. Swinging medium's where it's at.
I'm going swing hard. I'm making my own.
You go for it.
Yeah,
you
swing
know,
hard,
go
baby.
for it. I actually I spent $1,500 on swing medium shirts, and I sent them to all Bobby's mates. I'm breaking this news here.
Oh, this is like a long-term prank.
Yeah,
Just to,
I'm
like,
always about
piss him
long-term
off.
breaks. Yeah, I sent him to his partner, his close music friends overseas. He was on tour with Xavier Rudd at the time, and my mate was also on the tour, so I sent him a shirt ahead of the schedule, and at the same day everyone was sending him pictures in swing medium t-shirts. And then he goes on the tour bus and Mikey comes out with the swing medium t-shirt, and I've just sent all these swing, and that's probably why also I'm not a great businessman, because I will do stuff that are funny and I have too much conviction and follow through.
No, but I love that. That's the best way to live your life. You're going to have so many good stories.
So many.
By the time you're, in your ripe old age.
You probably do better business that way.
I don't know, man.
Speaking of pranks gone awry, old Business Kirk over here.
Well, it's time for everyone's second favorite segment in all of podcastery across the world, and that is indeed rapid fire questions. I'm going to ask you.
It's just questions.
I'm going to ask you 30 questions in like a minute. So, yeah. All right. So you got to try and answer them all. All right. You ready?
All right.
Liam?
Everyone ready?
Who's answering? You. On me?
Just you, my boy. Let's go.
And your time starts now.
Poached, fried, or scrambled?
Scrambled.
Filter or espresso?
Filter.
Drake or Kendrick?
Kendrick.
Abbie Chatfield or Sabrina Carpenter?
Who's Sabrina Carpenter?
Rowan or Kirk?
Oh, Rowan.
Lord of the Rings or Star Wars?
Lord of the Rings.
Xiao Long Bao or ravioli?
Ravioli.
Intermittent fasting, yes or no?
Yes.
Should iced lattes be more expensive than hot ones?
Should what?
Iced lattes be more expensive
No.
than hot ones? Melbourne or Sydney?
Sydney.
LeBron or MJ?
MJ.
Does Peter Dutton look like Voldemort?
Yes.
Favorite band or performer?
Harry Styles.
Favorite podcast?
This one.
Would you ever open a cafe?
No.
Leo DiCaprio's best performance?
Titanic.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Ronaldo.
Ingredient that should be on a breakfast menu?
Beetroot.
Last meal on earth, what are you having?
Jasmine one light cut Lebanese food.
Indian or Chinese?
Chicken shawarma specifically and Chinese.
Should Rowan lose some more weight to make sitting at this table more comfortable?
No.
All right, I've got a few more questions. I'm just going to ask anyway.
These are the ones where I'm just going to get
Do you mind if I ask them?
Yeah.
Did Rowan eat too much at breakfast this morning?
No.
How many sides did Rowan get?
14.
Did Rowan offer to pay the bill?
He paid the bill. He usurped me or whatever the word is. He got in there before I could, the dog.
Did you find Rowan to be quite cheap? So obviously not. Is Rowan a good chat?
He's a great chat.
Did Rowan get stage fright?
He didn't get stage fright. Can I say something else? Can I interrupt now that we're off the clock? I went to breakfast with Ben Lee. You know, the musician Ben Lee.
Please,
we want to get him on the pod.
You should. You guys would get on.
Oh, yeah?
You're both very, you're quick-witted and smart, and he's also really philosophical, and he has good chat.
It'd be amazing. We were talking about wanting to get him on the pod.
Yeah. He's a lad. You two should link up. Yep. Okay. Sorry.
Do any of your shirts come in XXL for Rowan?
Yes.
And have you got any?
Well, I've got too much XXL stock and 4XL because
Right, Rowan will take it. Have you got any? Did Rowan give you any good career advice?
Heaps, actually.
Okay. Well, it seems like he didn't fare too badly. That was all.
Yeah.
Where's the prop? Do you have like a scale or something? Like, what's the prop?
When I arrived, as in Business Kirk arrived, I left my phone in the change room. So
that was the prop.
I had the questions on there that I had to come and grab.
Do you have rapid fire questions for him?
No, I don't.
So he gets to dish it out.
Yeah, well, I had the questions ready, so that's why I could see that there were plans brewing before
Rowan's clapback coming next week.
Yeah, things. Actually, yeah, absolutely. The bar has been set, except I don't need to dress like a douchebag to come on the pod, so that's all right.
You are wearing sunglasses inside right now.
Yeah, but that's cool. I mean, we all are.
Yeah, that's true.
We all are.
I mean, the temperature's been raised quite high in here.
I know. I feel a little, to be honest, my feelings were hurt there. I'm starting to feel a bit flush. I'm starting to feel...
Mark looks a bit pink in the gills.
A little bit hot. And I think it's time for an extra hot take with 2 sugars.
Straight off the bat, if you're adding sugars with your coffee, you don't enjoy coffee.
Oh, mate, let people do what they want. We can argue about this.
They can do what they want.
Yeah.
For sure. But I'm just
about that.
saying, don't go claiming you're a coffee.
But like, what can you say if you like a pomodoro sauce? Like, oh, you don't like tomatoes because you're adding salt to them. Or
Was that your extra hot take, or you just
okay? Now that you've said it like that, I will consider semi-retracting that comment because I love salt on tomatoes.
It's like,
I'll bite into that thing and put pepper and salt on it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now I don't even know. Do you have a hot take for us on that? You've prepared a hot take for us. So with the hot take though, because these are great clippable moments, deliver it straight to a camera. It can be this one, just straight here.
Okay.
So breakfast shirts. Mark, what is your hot take?
My hot take would be overall, hospitality staff in Melbourne are not as friendly as anywhere else in the country.
Oh,
yeah.
Anywhere in the country.
Yeah, there's not all of
Sydney.
them. Not all of them, but like more often than not, compared to other cities, it's like they're too busy being cool and wearing Patagonia than wanting to interact with the people.
It's cold here though. You need Patagonia.
We're inside, mate. We've got fucking 6 heaters on. I know. That's what I've observed.
That's a hot take with 2 sugars.
Yeah. But at the same time, like this morning, Perry is one of the most amazing, and she's from Melbourne.
Yeah.
But you're always going to get gems, right?
Yeah, but who knows? She also loved you though, so there could be a side in there. Who knows? If I'd gone in there by myself, who knows what their welcome would have been into that situation. So we're saying here, Melbourne baristas, a little bit cold. Lift the game. Be friendly. Welcome people in. Hospitality is hard enough as it is. Let's make it a loving, inviting place and get everyone on side there.
Yeah, it's not a fashion show of or an elitist like showdown. You know what I mean?
That's a great hot take. That's a hot take. So I love that it's anywhere in the country, and you would know out of all the people, you've done the most cafes. So
I have.
Yeah.
Well, who's going next? Shall Business Kirk or shall you, Ron?
Yeah, you can do it.
My extra hot take with 2 sugars is, can we make sandwiches a little bit thinner? Because I'm trying to, I'm all for the work of art, but sometimes I just like something I could actually wrap my face around. We were talking before. I had to turn it into a bowl constrictor to actually take a bite of my sandwich. So for those of you who don't know, a bowl constrictor turns its face inside out to take a bite of something. Kookaburras can also do it. But I just, I've got a beard. I get things stuck in there. It's just bad business.
I don't think you stand alone on this. I did a piece ranting about why people should pay $20 for a sandwich, right? And a few people responded saying the reason they don't they just want a smaller sandwich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think you don't stand alone in your smaller sandwich quest.
Can I also give a shout out here? The best cafe that does it, proud Central Coast man, I am. Abbie's Coffee in the entrance. They do great toasted sandwiches, but they're functional. Perfectly crisp, nice amount of salt on them. You've got a vegetarian option, the mushroom melt, and then the meat ones as well. But seriously, just functionality needs to be part of the calculus when forming a sandwich or dish.
Do you know Jace?
Yeah, I do. Very well.
He is a character and a half.
He is.
He's one of the most iconic Australian cafe breakfast characters. He is such a good energy, that guy.
And his wife, Sophie, too.
Yeah, both of them. I haven't met her personally yet, but I speak to her on Instagram.
They're whack.
Oh, they're so out there. It's mad. I walked in and he just went, like when I walked in, I've never met this guy before, and he was just started screaming, and I'm like, I like this guy.
Yep. Update across the road, the ambulance. It's sad. We just got a nice little lady who's in the hospital bed getting wheeled into the truck. She's okay. She's up and about, so looks like she'll be all right there. But just a little ambulance update for everyone that was hanging on for that one. But now over to my hot take with 2 sugars. So we can take the glasses off for this one.
You guys can. Oh, sure.
Enough with the bull crap viral dishes that people are whipping up. I don't want to see cookies stuck on croissants. I don't want to see donuts stuffed in anything. I don't want anything ridiculous. It's fine if the thing is nice, tastes delicious, well balanced, well thought out. But things that are just ridiculous for the sake of ridiculous, I don't want it. It's gross.
It's
What's the best example you can give?
I don't want to hurt.
I can give
business.
one.
You go. I'll hurt. I'll really set you up there. You're like, I'll hurt someone's business.
A lot of the pastry cafes or whatever, they'll make a croissant, or maybe not a croissant. What am I thinking of? Like so let's just say a croissant, but they'll make it this big. Yeah, they'll do it for the videos, drizzling on the sauce. Yeah, like of this huge. It's not practical to make a croissant that big. And I'm not coming out from a greenie stance or it's going to go to waste and all. I'm not virtue signaling and trying. I'm just saying it's just it's just done. It's been done. And I'm sick of seeing, when I see a cafe or a video do that, I hit the unsubscribe or whatever it is. I'm like, I don't need to see a big croissant. They're just like grasping on these old ideas, like boom, in your face. We need to get their attention. Let's make a 40-kilo Danish and like put 3 kilos of caramel sauce on it. Yeah. Get all the slow-mo. It's just cringe.
The gluttony and over-the-top stuff is ridiculous. I want to see innovation and change and things that are going viral for the great technique and style and, that's coming into it. You know what I mean?
And, I just thought of a funny idea. I agree. Sorry. My brains
is just somewhere else.
Imagine if one of these cafes made the tiniest croissant ever.
Oh my God.
It was like this big. That would be funny.
Croissant cereal. Just a little bowl of little tiny croissants.
Croissant cereal. Yeah. We've had too many ideas today.
Yeah. There's a place in Sydney called Rising Sun in Newtown.
No one cares, Kirk.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah. They do like breakfast ramen. And that's kind of like, to me, that's a correct, and it's like got
that's cool.
Bacon and
eggs.
And
it makes sense. With bacon and eggs, you can do cheese, the same ingredients that you have.
And it was actually really good. Are you just salty about the rapid fire questions?
No, I thought you were going to say someone's already done a miniature croissant. And so I was just telling you to shut up because I thought you were going to be like, it's already been done. And I was like, shut up, it's original.
So you missed.
Yeah, I missed.
You missed.
And I can admit that. I'm big enough to say I also agree with breakfast ramen. I think it's a great idea. I mean, people talking about budgets and how you're doing it. Could you do, places probably do it. Breakfast pizza. It makes sense. It's just bread with breakfast on top of it. Split a pizza between a friend.
I've never seen that actually.
The Aussie.
Yeah, eggs, bacon, chorizo. You could do any of those things. Spinach, all the breakfast, tomatoes. Yeah. You've got all the, most pizzas are just breakfast ingredients on bread. So
true. Yeah.
Well, before we finish up, is there anything else that you wanted to get in there? Where can everyone find you?
Like physically in the real world?
Probably not. That's probably a bit creepy. Maybe online is probably is there stuff like, can people follow you if they're in Europe for this new tour? They can find you on Instagram and on the socials. Your shirts and gear, amazing.
Yep. Breakfastshirts.com.
Yep.
Or also fuckpartyshirts.com. You that'll be redirected to breakfastshirts.com because everyone used to say, oh, it's like a party shirt. And I used to be like, no, it's not a fucking party shirt. It's a breakfast shirt. Yeah. So I bought the domain fuckpartyshirts.com. If you go there, it should go to the Breakfast Shirts website. But yeah, our Instagram, Breakfast Shirts with 2 S's at the end. You can find us there and you can see all the tour updates and all the stuff we're doing.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you, and I'm sure we're going to. Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, please plug.
One more thing, which I launched today.
Yeah, Patreon.
That's half of it, yeah. But more the small business soap initiative. I've launched a business, or Breakfast Shirts has. Profits from all the products we sell, and these products are going to be wholesale to cafes, so cafe-friendly products. First one is coffee soap, literally coffee grounds in soap. It's like a bougie soap. All the profits from that go back into a fund, which is directed by Breakfast Shirts, and I'm going to use that money to do campaigns that support cafes, small business, and arts in Australia. So instead of me having to work with these big brands like we talked about, and
just give you a little clap there. So great.
Instead of having to mold myself and everything around what the big brand wants, if they contribute cash to do these things, I can execute how I want, which I've had really good success of doing really well, and I know it works. I can focus on that if we have our own fund. So anyone who stocks any of the products, coffee soap's the first one, or anything, profits from that go to the fund, and we'll do creative stuff together. We're launching a membership with it, which you can vote on the pitches through the soap initiative. So it's going to be something we can all do together. I'm going to be we're going to be fully transparent with what's costing us what. I'll show you the behind the scenes of the business, and I'll give everyone updates on what we're doing. And yeah, I'm just trying to create something that can support the industry more.
Yep, I think that's great. I think all your efforts are amazing. I think you're doing amazing for the hospo industry out there. If you're any cafes and you want them coming in, annoy them, DM them, send them messages. And you can also send us messages. Send us a DM, send us a message to hello@itsjustcoffeepod.com. We also want to get some of your hot takes so we can keep you into the segments.
Send them in.
Any of your questions. Also, the new thing that I'm saying, any cafes, I mean, I'm in Melbourne, so that's the easiest, but elsewhere that you think are worth checking out, maybe one of your local favorites that you want us to go check out, or maybe you work there, let us know. I'm going to start trying to knock off one a week. And so what's that? Right. 52 in a year. Get out there and help your local cafes out and that kind of thing.
Extra points for those who create functional sandwiches too.
Yeah, functional sandwiches.
You guys should do a functional sandwich tour.
Oh, we just rank people. It's like, this is the best sandwich I've ever tasted, but is it functional? No, 0 out of 10. Do not go.
Oh, that's great.
All right, well, as always, I'm Ron Cook.
And I'm Business Kirk.
And it's just coffee. Thank you for coming on Breakfast Shirt.
Thank you. Coffee up, eh?
Coffee up.
I didn't get the memo of doing that last thing together.
Oh, the coffee. Yeah, that's fine. We just yell it. That's fine.
Coffee. Bugs are undone.
He's just going to breathe.